Hello everyone, welcome to the video. So I currently run multiple online businesses, and through these revenue streams, I generate $300,000 a year in revenue. And this year we're going to target to do $500,000 in revenue. All of this while working just 6 hours a day, while managing all of these multiple revenue streams. So in this video, I'm going to share the exact productivity tips and the blueprint that I've followed to be able to do so much in so little time. Now, the first mindset that I want you to start off with is that productivity is actually about doing less and it's not about doing more. Now, most of the productivity advice that I got was about packing as many tasks as possible in your working day, but actually it's quite the opposite. Let's say, for example, if you've been following that approach, you might have like 20 tasks or 30 tasks in a day, and a lot of those tasks might just be carried forward to the next day or to the next week or maybe to the next life. And this keeps happening to us because there is an endless task list that we create. So the first tip that I would give you is to actually eliminate the tasks that do not need to get done. Now, I know it sounds harsh, but you have to start saying no to things that really do not move the needle for you. Now, what are the needle movers? The needle movers are things that will get to your goals, right? So let's say, for example, this year we've decided a revenue goal. Based on the revenue goal, we've decided the kind of clients that we want to work with, based on which we've decided what kind of retainer sizes we will have for the agencies and exact businesses and industries that we will work with. So anything that comes outside of that minimum retainer size or that industry, we need to say no to that because we know the path that we are taking to that goal is a different path, right? Secondly, the other things that come up are basically just a lot of these requests to book a time, to review this, to review that, to have a meeting for sorts. Most of these things can be either eliminated, or for those things, you can ask people to send a Loom video, which is a great hack, by the way. Just ask people to send you Looms or voice notes, and then you can review it when you have time. So eliminating tasks is a great way. The tasks that you cannot eliminate are basically the tasks that need to get done, but that doesn't mean that you have to do all of those tasks. So that brings me to the second big tip, which is going to be to delegate. Now, you need to find people who are cheaper than you, or who are better than you, or who are going to enjoy a task more than you. And then all of those three categories of tasks should be delegated to those people. So for example, you calculate that your hourly rate is $100 an hour. You find someone at a $50 an hour, or let's say for a small task, let's say your hourly rate is just $20 an hour, and for a small task you can find someone to do it for $5 an hour. You can just delegate those tasks. And I gave those two examples to show that this is not just for entrepreneurs but also for freelancers. You don't have to be a big business owner. Let's say you're a freelancer and you've started generating enough income where you can share part of it with someone and free up a lot of time to get new clients or to partner with a bigger company or a bigger agency, which is something I really recommend for freelancers, is to partner with agencies so that they can expand their portfolio of clients and so forth. So in those cases, all those three categories where someone could do it cheaper than you, someone could do it better than you, is another way to think about delegation. And finally, there could be tasks which you don't really enjoy doing, and those can be delegated as well. So for example, accounting and compliance is something I don't particularly enjoy doing. So it's better to have a CA on your payroll or on a retainer who can get that done, right? So that brings me also to a point that I wanted to mention, which is a bonus tip for freelancers, because most freelancers I've seen that like to operate alone, but actually freelancers can partner up the hierarchy or down the hierarchy, which means, for example, if you're a freelancer who's doing $1,000 a month and you have another freelancer who's doing $200 a month, there is a potential partnership down the hierarchy where this freelancer can get substantially double their revenue from $200 a month to $400 a month, and you pay them $200 to actually free up time on your calendar to get another client at $500 a month, which brings your revenue to $1,500 a month. So think about it like that. You don't have to be an agency to hire people. You could do it as a freelancer as well. The second partnership for a freelancer is up the hierarchy, where you can actually partner up with agencies and get some of their projects. And an agency would be happy to pay you $300 a month for something that they are getting paid $900 a month, or pay you $1,000 a month for something that they are getting paid $3,000 a month. So it just works in proportion to what size of the agency that you're partnering up is, right? So they would typically be happy to pay a freelancer 30% of the project and get the whole thing done by the freelancer. So we've discussed the first two big tips. Now the third big tip, which is the best one, to be very honest, because a lot of good people actually fall for this, is to aim for perfection. And when you aim for perfection, and this could be surprising to some, but perfection is the enemy of productivity. The more you aim for perfection, the less productive you get. And this is how the math works. If you have a task or a project that takes 100 hours to be completed to perfection, which, by the way, can never be achieved. That's the big problem with perfection. But even if you decide that this is my perfection, this is the top of the mountain, and it takes 100 hours to reach perfection, it probably takes just 50 hours to reach a great, well-done project. The same project, amazing, great, well done, but not perfect, is probably going to take half the time that it takes to get it perfect. And it could take, 40 hours to be good, 30 hours to be average, maybe just 20 hours to be acceptable. Now, you don't want to do the acceptable work and you don't want to go for perfection. So you want to play in that 50-hour range. By playing in that 50-hour range, you're an amazing, great agency. You're not a perfect agency, which no one is, or you're not a perfect freelancer, which no one is, but you're shooting for the amazing, great, and you're basically saving half the time on every project and task that you do. So that's 50% of your time freed up. Not just your time, but your energy and the kind of effort that goes into perfection can actually very easily turn into irritation and frustration because there is no perfection, right? The more you target perfection, it's a moving target. The target moves forward. So that's the third biggest step, which is to actually avoid perfection at all costs. And remember that perfection is the enemy of productivity. Right? So the first one is elimination. The second one is delegation. And finally, the task that you have to execute, you have to avoid perfection. And with those tips, you'll actually be implementing the top 20% advice in productivity out there and be able to drive those 80% results that will move the needle forward for you and your business. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is all for this one. If you're part of the Growth Rat Pro community, then you have my productivity masterclass access as well, which has a lot more tips and hacks. So feel free to check it out. If you're not, do apply for the Growth Rat Pro membership. It's a community of like-minded people, entrepreneurs, marketeers, freelancers, and we love to exchange and share ideas internally. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.